I'm Jeff Waters and I'm here at the start of a journey at Market Harborough station, but I won't be going by train. I will be following the route of the London and North Western Railway. The last train ran in August 1981. Since that time, much of the track has been removed, and this has provided a 14-mile linear park that enables cyclists, horse riders and walkers to enjoy the beautiful countryside together. So why not come with me and discover more about the Brampton Valley Way? There's now little left of the line through Market Harborough. Just a few minutes' ride brings me to Little Bowden, to the south of the town and the start of the way. Well, that's the last of the roads. Ahead, 14 miles of traffic-free cycling, apart from my fellow cyclists and the odd horse. What is now a green corridor through lush Northamptonshire countryside was, a couple of hundred years ago, a hive of activity. The early 19th century was the golden age of railway building, and towns and cities fought to be on one of the new main lines and so part of the superhighway of the day. Northampton and Market Harborough both saw themselves being bypassed and pressured the London and North Western Railway to build this line. At first they resisted, but the discovery of ironstone tipped the economic argument in favour. I'm certainly ready for a bite to eat, and where better than Waterloo Farm, where there's a tea shop, a craft shop and even a fishing lake for people to enjoy. And I hope to be able to bump into Robert Gowling, the owner, to check up on developments on the farm. How has the creation of the Brampton Valley Way affected you?
Well, this was obviously an attraction for us in the first place. The Brampton Valley Way was created from the old railway, and obviously we thought that we would have people coming off to actually use what facilities we have. For one reason, there is no other facilities until you get to Brampton or Pittsford of any sort, and they tell us there's 1 million visitors actually use it.
Robert, what plans do you have to diversify?
Well, we are a farming business and always will be a farming business. I haven't really done it for financial reasons. What I've done it for is for the interest of doing it, basically. I've got a young lad that is in partnership with me, and he is sort of taking over the reins with the farming business. And basically this is a way of diversifying from the farm for my own interest, basically, as well as still sort of helping the lad on the farm.
So you really had the vision to make this place have a wider variety of different businesses to appeal to people, so they might come and enjoy the countryside?
Well, very much so. We obviously have done it for our own reasons, but we do want to involve all people, especially local people. In fact, you will find that we're extending it over the other side, where we are actually putting nature hides and trails for people to actually come and enjoy the countryside. And us as farmers really do like people in the countryside, but we do like the right sorts of people, the people that appreciate it.
People appreciate it. Is the Brampton Valley Way growing in popularity?
People who want more leisure time. Market Harborough is a lovely little town, but it's absolutely bursting at the seams with houses. People need something to do, and we welcome them out in the countryside. So the Brampton Valley Way really is a lovely walk or cycle way right within 2 miles of the centre of the town. So yes, we think it's got a very good future.
Well, thank you very much, Robert, for taking the time to talk with us. Thank you.
Thanking you.
Thanks to Robert and his colleagues, Waterloo Farm offers activities for all. Apart from the fishing lake and a tea room, there's a craft shop and cycle hire, as well as B&B and self-catering accommodation on site. Building the railway took 8 years and cost £200,000. The economics were always going to be marginal, and the line was built as cheaply as possible. 100 years later, this was to seal its fate. One of the best bits of the way for children and young at heart is the tunnels, each a quarter of a mile long. It's a very strange experience cycling through puddles and with only a faint dot of light in the distance to guide you. Ironstone had been a major part of the justification for the line. Deposits had been mined in Northamptonshire as long ago as Roman times, but in the 18th century sufficient ore had been found in the new coalfields elsewhere in the country. However, by the 19th century these reserves had been exhausted, and so attention returned to Northamptonshire. Iron ore was extracted by digging a long trench that moved across the landscape. As the topsoil was removed and the overburden replaced, little evidence remained of the quarrying operation. The iron ore was moved by railway truck to the ironworks. Now, although vast deposits still remain, production ceased in the 1970s because of competition from cheaper and more easily extracted foreign iron ore. To save costs, a single-track railway was constructed, but it was always expected that a second line would be added, so all the overbridges and the track base were built with that in mind. By the year 1873, traffic had risen to such an extent that a double-track railway was required. The biggest hurdle faced by the engineers was that the tunnels, the one here at Kelmarsh and the one at Oxenden, were only wide enough for single track use. So a contract was placed to bore a second tunnel parallel to the first. Today, although only one of them is available for cyclists and walkers, a brief scramble reveals the second tunnel. For a railway, gradients were pretty steep. I can certainly feel I've been climbing since Market Harborough, but this bench marks the summit. It's downhill all the way. The traffic is deafening, and the contrast with the near silence of the tunnels couldn't be greater. Well, we need roads, and we certainly buy all the goods that those lorries transport. But we also need the peace and tranquility of places like the Brampton Valley Way. The A14 is one of the country's busiest trunk roads, connecting East Anglia and its ports to the motorway network. As the way was opened before this final stretch to the M1 was built, an underpass had to be provided. From the A14, the way passes Madewell and Drawton, following the River Nens Brampton branch. It crosses the A508 at the site of the old Lamport station, then skirts the edge of Brixworth. Here, at the site of the Brixworth station, the need for maintenance is clear. The track and everything associated with the railway may have gone, but 150-year-old bridges struggle to cope with today's traffic. For those wanting a change of scenery, Pitsford Reservoir is a couple of miles from the way. It offers fishing, dinghy sailing and windsurfing, a country park with cycle hire and cafe, as well as a 7-mile cycle ride around the reservoir. At Merry Tom Crossing is the first sign that the railway hasn't gone completely. A pile of sleepers and fence could have been left over from the 80s. But at Brampton Crossing I find the Northampton and Lamport Railway very much a going concern. Set up by a handful of enthusiasts as the railway was being dismantled, they now operate nearly 2 miles of track. Their collection of steam and diesel locomotives and rolling stock is operated and maintained by volunteers, and the railway runs most summer weekends. The railway has ambitious plans to relay the track as far as Lamport. For now, the line is being extended south to a station to be built at Brampton Crossing, which marks the end of the Brampton Valley Way. And next to it is the welcome site of the Windhover pub. Well, here we are at the end of the Brampton Valley Way, which marks the end of my journey all the way from Market Harborough. The cycleway continues to Kingsthorpe, where it follows the line of the present railway line that goes to Rugby and then on to Birmingham. The cycleway itself continues as National Cycleway number 6 through Milton Keynes and beyond there. Over the past 14 miles, I've gone through an old railway line that was closed down by Dr. Beeching. I've seen wildlife, I've seen many sights and sounds that make this an ideal place for the family to come and have a traffic-free day out. Thanks to the council and all those involved in the creation of this linear park, it has become a wonderful resource to get a feeling for the countryside in Northamptonshire.